Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Bree. I know it's been a while, y'all. I'm trying to crank out these videos. I know I keep saying I've just been really busy, but I'm pumping them out for you and we getting all caught up, okay? Because y'all gonna have back-to-back recaps of Ready to Love. So they're gonna be a day apart. So just thank you for tuning in. But as always, I'm here to discuss Ready to Love Season 9, Episode 8, titled Exes Meet the Nexes. All right, y'all, let's get into it. So we start this episode off with the ladies meeting up with Tommy at the lounge. And at this point, there's 5 ladies left, right? So Tommy informs them that they cannot look towards the future without looking at their past. So basically, he tells them they have to introduce their men, well, their connections, to their exes.
Now, who can't run? Now, who can't run? Who can't run? Yeah.
And basically, the girls are like, for real, Tommy? So he lets them know that it'll give the fellas a peek into what works for them and what doesn't work for them. And then Maya says, none of her exes are her friends. So, the ladies, they weren't too, well, I wouldn't say they weren't too thrilled about it, but they're kind of like, yeah, I don't know about this. So anyway, in a new scene, we see Patrice meet up with her ex named Dro at a restaurant. And we learned that they're all going to meet Alonzo and William, which are, Patrice's connections. So before the guys arrive, Patrice is sitting down with Dro, and she lets him know that she's invited him to meet some people. And Dro says, oh, so you invited me to meet a bunch of men? So I was laughing at that part. It was funny. I don't know. It was just the way he said it. I don't know. I don't know if you guys actually watch it or you're just listening to recaps, but if you do watch it, you'll see what I'm talking about. So anyway, so Alonzo arrives first and then William comes right after. So they both sit down, they greet each other, all that good stuff. And then Dro tells them that they're getting a blessing in Patrice and that between Patrice and him, they realized that they were better friends. So I think he just wanted to get that out of the way. Of course, we dated, but we realized we're better as friends. And then he says, which was very profound, he said that because, him and Patrice decided to not be together and just remain friends, it opened the door for him to meet his wife because he never thought he would get married. So I thought that was real cool. And I was like, oh, okay, I see that. So anyway, so they're all talking and Alonzo explains to Dro that he's a very secure man and he's confident even if his woman remains friends with her ex. And so then William talks about how, he's not a jealous person, but he's more so of a protective person. So from what I got from what William was saying is I think it's cool or whatever. She can still be friends with her ex, but just know if any funny business going down, I'm going to be protective over that. I ain't going to let nothing, be going down. So that's kind of what I got from it. And I kind of understood what he was saying. So then Dro starts asking the guys some questions and he asks, what do you like about her? So Alonzo says that, I'm sorry. Dro asks them, what do you not like about Patrice? So Alonzo says that at times she may just throw a curveball just to see how you would react. And he's saying I'm thinking, should I take the bait? And then Patrice says that she doesn't like not knowing when Alonzo's serious and when he's not. And William says that he doesn't like it when Patrice, when she told him that she likes to tan. So when he says that, Dro was like, what do you mean? That's a preference that she likes to do. And why does that bother you? So William's like, well, it doesn't bother me like that. And the reason is I'm sorry, let me start over. I'm all over the place. Okay, sorry. Y'all rewind. Okay. So So after William lets him know, like, he don't like that Patrice told him she likes to tan, Dro says, you mean to tell me that the preference she likes to do with herself bothers you? And so he says, no, it's the reason why she said it, because she said that I'm high yellow. And William says, well, it pushed a button with me feeling like I'm not good enough because I was adopted. So Patrice says, she doesn't like it when William checks out when he's upset. And he says when he's upset, he likes to take a step outside because he doesn't want, to be angry with his significant other and them go back and forth, all that good stuff. So yeah, they all talk about that, y'all. It wasn't really too heavy in that scene. And then the guys say that they have to leave, so they do leave. So then Dro's just left with Patrice to talk about the connections. So Dro says that Alonzo has a lot of potential because he's young and he has wit, but between the both of them, he likes William better because William is grown. So Patrice says that she has to decipher between what she wants versus what she needs. So let me give my opinion about that. Between William and Alonzo, I don't know. I feel like maybe Patrice is probably better suited for Alonzo. I know he's trying to show his serious side, but with William, I don't really see those two together like that. I see them being real cool, but I don't know. I don't really see them together like that. That's just my opinion. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Anyway, so in the new scene, we see Mika meet up with Tommy at a restaurant by herself. And Mika tells him that she has 2 exes, and the most recent ex she has, they don't have any type of communication. Then she says that her son's father is like, basically, don't call me if we ain't got nothing to talk about but our child. So she can't use him as no ex on the show. So Tommy says, well, since you don't have any exes to bring, I still want you to go on a date with these guys. And then Tommy says, well, what if I crash the date? What if I be a stand-in and become the mediator? And then Tommy's like, well, I'll ask them some questions and basically grill them.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
And so Mika says, oh my gosh, like you would do that? And he's like, yeah, like, I'm going to get to the bottom of it because, Tommy's basically going to, ask the right questions. He's been married for a long time. So it's kind of like he just looking out for her. So they agree to this plan and nobody else knows about it. So next, we see Vanessa meet up with her ex, Thomas, at a restaurant. Y'all already know what I'm going to say. Ready to Love, OWN, I don't know, the production company, whoever. Can I get some other date ideas besides restaurants? Now, I know y'all been trying to step up your game and do other activities, but I don't always want to see a lot of the time somebody going to a restaurant. Maybe it's because, y'all need them to talk and I don't know what it is, but hit me up. I can give y'all some date ideas, okay? Just hit your girl, Brie. Hit me up. Anyway, Vanessa meets up with Thomas at the restaurant and we learn that she's bringing Chaz and Dom to meet him. So Dom arrives first and then Chaz arrives right after and he actually brings her flowers. Then the scene jumps over to y'all, why did I put Amy? Who is Amy? Oh my gosh, well, hold up. The scene jumps over to, I'm trying to think, Justin and William. Oh my gosh, Maya. Sorry, y'all. Sorry about that. Because I'm like, who the heck is that? My bad. Okay, anyway. So next, the scene jumps over to Maya, who invites Justin and William to meet her ex, Wes. So Maya says that she doesn't know what Wes is going to say because she's sure he still has feelings for her. And she ain't trying to deal with all that. So she's just a little nervous about what he's going to ask and his response. All of that, right? So Justin arrives to the date first and he asks Wes, what are some of the things that you have to deal with Maya? So Wes replies saying that, well, I'm going to just let you know right now she is spoiled. And as they're talking about this, William arrives. Then the scene jumps back on over to Vanessa and Chaz. And Chaz asks her and Thomas, like, how did they meet? And so she says that Thomas's mother and her used to work together. And she was just like, oh, you should meet my son. And that's kind of how that came to be. So as they're talking about that, Dom brings up the fact that in the past, he had been intimate with a coworker, or I think it was like a coworker who introduced him to someone. And basically when that happened, it changed things to where like the friendship was gone. And so he asked Vanessa and Thomas, like, how can y'all be friends after intimacy? And Thomas says, well, I just want to let you know, like, with me and Vanessa, our friendship is very distant. And then Vanessa's like, we don't call each other every day. We don't text every day. Like, we're not in constant communication. So basically, you don't have anything to worry about. Then it jumps back on over to Maya. And so Wes asks William, because you've been married twice, do you feel like you have something to offer? So William says, absolutely, because I don't want to marry someone that I don't want to spend the rest of my life with. So Wes says, so the first two you didn't want to spend the rest of your life with? And William says no. So then the scene jumps back on over to Vanessa. And Thomas asks, are you looking for marriage? And what's your ultimate plan? So he asking, both Dom and Chaz. And so Dom says, I want to be married and I definitely want to be a father. Then Chaz says that he's focused on finding a wife. Then back to Maya. Yeah, I know, y'all. That's what they were doing in the episode. They just kept going back and forth between Vanessa and Maya. So anyway, back to Maya. So Wes asks Justin, what do you do? And Justin replies saying, I'm a teacher. Then Wes says, oh, are we talking about our income already? And when he said that, I was like, what are you talking about? You asked him what he does for a living, and he told you I'm a teacher. So I don't understand why you're talking about income. Like, I don't know what that was about. So Justin replies and says, does income matter?
I know you don't, but let me tell you, I got to be like a thief in the night in this house every time I want to get some privacy to do my work.
Then Wes says, did you ask her if she likes humble living? So basically, Wes is trying to get at that Maya has certain standards for her man. Basically, I'm not calling her bougie, but basically Maya likes the finer things in life. And basically she wants a man with money, point blank, period. So as they're talking about this, Maya says, well, I make my own money, but I do want someone who's ambitious. So we see in Justin's confessional, he says that it was a red flag for him regarding Maya with finances. And basically he's kind of worried about, well, not saying he doesn't have money, but he's like, I don't have a lot of money or whatever. So I may not be the guy for her if she's looking for somebody basically who got some dough and who's rich. But he's like, that ain't me, bro. So I don't know how that's going to work with Maya. So anyway, back on over to Vanessa. So Chaz and Dom leave and, Vanessa and Thomas start talking. So Thomas says that he would choose Chaz for her. Then it jumps back on over to Maya and Justin and William leave. So Wes tells her that he likes Justin, but the other guy and her hit it off better. Basically talking about William. So that's kind of how both of the ladies' dates went with their exes, meeting up with their connections. So in a new scene, we see Rashina meet up with her ex, Chris, and we learn that Chris is her ex-husband and the father of her kids. And I thought that was interesting because not too many people would have that, like their ex-husband going out with their ex-wife's potential partner and be cool with it. So, and anyway, honestly, watching them together, they're kind of like cool with each other. It's like you would never think they were ever together, to be honest. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, So Chaz arrives to the date, and she lets Chaz know that they co-parent well. And it's just Chaz that came. So Chaz says that he loves his communication with Rashina because they can communicate and stop and then pick up right where they left off. Then we find out that Chaz takes days to call Rashina. So I said, yes. And this lets me know right now, Chaz is not feeling Rashina like that, because if he was, he would be calling her like every day. And for you, it taking days to call her back, like, no. First of all, I wouldn't even been bothered with him if it's taking you all these days to get back to me. But anyway, so Chaz says that he feels like he can be safe, funny, and honest with her. And so her ex, Chris, says that he likes the way that they smile at each other. So in my, y'all, because I'm about to go in this, is it this episode? No. When we get to episode 9, I'm going to go in on Chaz, because y'all already know, like, I'm going to tell y'all what happened with him. But I told y'all from episode 2 how Chaz was, and I have been proven right. But we're going to talk about that in episode 9, so let me not even rush ahead. So anyway, they're basically talking. It wasn't nothing too big, and Chaz leaves. So Chris says that Chaz is proper, and he likes the fact that Rashina doesn't mess around with no hood dudes. Yo, I was rolling when he said that. It was just the way he said it. He's like, I'm proud of you. You ain't messing with no hood dude. Like, girl, look at you. You got this dude named Trip with Chaz, and he's proper. I like that. So I'm putting like 10 on 2 when I said that part. But he did say he likes the fact that she don't mess around with no hood dudes. Anyway, so Rashina lets Chris know that she does like Chaz a lot. Next, we see Mika go out on a date with Justin and LaRon, and Tommy arrives afterwards. And so when he arrives, the guys are shocked, and they're like, hold up, like, Tommy, are you Mika's ex or something? So anyway, Tommy sits down and he says, I found out that Mika's going to be by herself. And I said, no, like, we can't have that. So he's like, basically, I'm just here for moral support, and I'm just going to be asking you guys some questions. So Tommy asked Justin, why did your last relationship end? So he replies and says that, we weren't seeing eye to eye anymore. And then LaRon says that his last relationship ended because they were just arguing all of the time, and he just doesn't like to argue. So then Tommy asks them both, he's like, let's say y'all had a disagreement, right? Talking about Mika. And he says, well, what would you do throughout the day since you had that disagreement? So LaRon says, I would check the temperature by, sending her little text messages here and there, just to kind of gauge and see where her head's at. Then Justin says that what he would do is try to resolve their problem right then and there, because he doesn't want his energy thrown off for the day. So I guess if something happened in the beginning, he kind of want to make it right before, maybe going off to work or doing something else, because he just don't want to be off. So Tommy asked if Mika's ex was here, what would you ask? So LaRon says, I would ask him, well, why did y'all end? So Mika starts expounding on that. And so she says, I felt like he didn't, she said, I felt like I didn't have him because he was entertaining other women and he was a gamer and it was becoming excessive. So they're all like, wait a minute, you don't like a dude that plays video games? And so then LaRon starts saying, well, I play video games. So Tommy's like, well, how often do you play? And LaRon is like, let me tell y'all, if a new game just dropped, I might call off the weekend and take a day off from work.
Absolutely not.
Everybody's looking at him like what? Like, you really gonna take off a day of work to sit and play a new video game? I just think that's a bit much. And y'all, I like, just, a little thing about me. I like watching video games. I like playing video games. I have a video game console. And I'm cool with it. I would be cool with my dude with that. But if it's excessive where you're not spending time together, you're not even listening to the person while you're playing video games, you're just not in it, and you taking off from work to play some video games, to me, that's kind of like, I don't know. But to each his own, whatever. So then Justin asked Mika, what do you think he would say some of your weaknesses are, talking about if her ex was there. So Mika says, I struggle with not being attentive at times because I can get wrapped up with my kids and I might forget the guy at times. And then Justin says that he does like his space, but you have to like me too. He's like, nah, you ain't gonna try to give me all the space now. Like, come on, girl, we gotta get this together. So then Mika says that she doesn't bring a lot of people around her kids, because she's very selective in who she brings around them. So, and I thought that was good. She's not one of, those people, because it could be a single mom or single dad that constantly brings like men and women around their children that they're dating. And I think she's being responsible in that sense. So definitely kudos to her for that. So after they all have their conversation, Tommy leaves, and in her confessional, she says that she realizes that she and LaRon don't have a romantic connection, but just a friendship. And she says that she really likes Justin. So I think that's cool too. Justin's definitely a better match. And I could tell she never liked LaRon like that anyway. And yeah, it wouldn't be there. So anyway, next we see Alonzo taking Patrice out on a solo date. So he says that he wants to show her his serious side. And we see that they meet up at a museum. And child, he told her he shut down that whole museum. Like, ain't nobody there. He shut the place down for her. So I was like, okay, Alonzo. And Patrice was very impressed by that. So they go into the museum. They're just enjoying their time. They're looking at some exhibits. And then we see Alonzo has set up a table for dinner, for the both of them to have dinner. I think it was like, I don't know if it was, I'm trying to remember. Was it candles on the table and some like rose petals? I don't know, something like that. So they go over to the table and he lets Patrice know. He's like, look, I definitely like you and I'm not about to play no games. So I was like, okay, Alonzo, you better talk that talk. Come on now. So I'm being silly. So anyway, so of course Patrice is just smiling, cheesing. She was just thoroughly impressed. So he starts explaining to her, why he likes her. Then he tells her, get up from the table. So he leads her away from the table in like the middle of the room, and he has flowers in his hands. And we see Alonzo like getting down on one knee, and she's like, boy, what are you doing? She's like, start screaming because it looks like he about to propose. But then right as he's getting down, he gonna say, oh, I'm just tying my shoe. And Patrice starts busting out laughing. I'm like, Alonzo, see, he always going to be playful somewhere when he's trying to be serious. But that was mostly what happened in that date. It was really cute, very nice. And I could tell she really enjoyed it and, made him more mature looking. So shout out to you, Alonzo, for that. That's really nice. And you can tell he really likes Patrice. So anyway, in a new scene, the ladies meet up with Tommy at the lounge, and they all tell Tommy about their dates with their connections and their exes. And so Mika says that, she doesn't have a connection with LaRon and Alonzo. Then Maya and Vanessa says they don't have a connection with Alonzo either. Then we see Patrice, Maya, and Rashida say that Dom, they don't have no connection with him because, he doesn't reach out to them. So we're learning that Dom hasn't been reaching out to the ladies. It seems like he's not interested, and they're pretty much, okay, I guess there's just nothing there with him. So Tommy lets them know that they have to take 2 guys on a date and let one of them know that they aren't ready to love. So then he says that I want y'all to pack y'all bags because y'all about to go to my Ready to Love open night experience. And he lets them know they're going to be under one roof for a weekend. And they got to let the guys know, like, basically pack y'all bags because we're about to be out. So we learn they're about to go on a getaway. So in a new scene, we see Maya meet up with Dom at a restaurant, and then we see Alonzo and Vanessa meet up at a restaurant on a date. So Dom tells Maya that, she's not off the table for him, but she's looking a little married, and I don't date married women. So Maya was looking at him like, what are you talking about?
Hold on, wait, let me fix my wig and myself, because I'm so tired of everybody talking about hold on.
And so basically Dom was saying that I'm talking about your connection with William. And so I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? All you guys are here to date each other and to see who's your better connection, who's a better match for you. And I just didn't like how he came off like that. I don't know. It seems to me with Dom, he has a little bit of some insecurities. And I'm saying it's Dominique, but I just call him Dom. It seems like he has some insecurities a little bit. I feel like, I don't know if he can be a jealous type of dude. I don't know, but yeah, it's just something's kind of, I don't know. Anyway, kind of off with him a little bit. Not saying like off, but I mean, if he sees maybe somebody he likes talking to another man, I feel like he gets really upset by that. And I don't even know why, because you're in this process to be dating multiple people at the same time. But anyway. So then the scene jumps over to Vanessa and Alonzo, and Vanessa says that he texted her about the date he had with Patrice and how it was like nice and all that. But she was confused because she was like, I don't know if you told me that just to let me know there's no connection between you and I. So then Alonzo says, well, I am interested in you. And so I was like, Alonzo, now I'm going to keep it real. I don't believe, Alonzo, you're interested in Vanessa. I don't. I just think you're saying that because you're up for elimination and you're trying to say anything to stay in this, group. So yeah, y'all, I'm just not believing Alonzo is interested in Vanessa. And Vanessa didn't even believe him anyway. So anyway, Vanessa is talking to him and she says that the ladies and her have decided he's still ready to love. And I kind of knew that anyway. I didn't think they were removing Alonzo. So anyway, y'all, Alonzo is relieved and she informs him of the invite to that getaway weekend that Tommy told them about. Then the scene jumps over to Maya and Dom. And so Maya tells Dom that they've all decided that he's not ready to love. And so when she says that, Dom is like, you think so? And so he really was shocked because he didn't think he was getting eliminated.
And that's just how it felt. Really?
She's explaining it to you.
Yeah, I'm just saying really.
And in his confessional, he says that it did hurt him for the ladies to let him go. But, he's just not for everybody. And scene. So yeah, y'all, that is where the episode ends. So we learned this week that Dom got eliminated. And I do think it's for the better because especially when I'm hearing that you're not even reaching out to the ladies, it seems to me you're not interested in anyone. So there's just no point in holding on to him. But anyway, y'all, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another one of my recaps. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can be informed whenever I upload a new video. Also, too, comment below. Tell me your thoughts on this week's episode. What did you think about Dom being eliminated? Did you like that cute little date with Patrice? What did you think about the exes coming on the show? I didn't think it was too explosive, to be honest, with the exes. I've seen other seasons where the exes were there and it was kind of like, very interesting, but it wasn't too bad. So I'm going to give this episode, man, I'm going to give it a 7.5, yeah. But anyway, y'all, thank you guys. And as always, before you go, I love to say a prayer over you. And so here it goes. So may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace and protection. This is my prayer over your life in Jesus' name. Amen. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you in my next recap. And yeah, bye.